Hello everyone, VJZ42 back with another review. This is the MPC Impressions decks, make playing cards. And it also came with a poker tip, which is a nice, good, thick poker tip, as you can see. It has the Ace of Spades on one side, it says MPC, makeplayingcards.com. And you see all 6 sides of a dice on there, which, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but there's definitely some embossing on there as well. The other side, dice again, and you see the King of Spades. We'll move on with that. Then we get to the decks. There's 4 different ones, all similar but different. They all feature this new touch and feel impressions system that Make Playing Cards has put out. This is a standard one. Of course, it says MPC makeplayingcards.com on top. Impressions playing cards down here on the bottom, which is embossed. And then touch and feel and some embossing on that spade pip. It says makeplayingcards.com, specialist in custom made cards on the one side and MPC information, trademark stuff on the other. Top it says Kickstarter edition underneath the seal. And then the bottom, a barcode, which is weird because it has no numbers or anything. And MPC made inside a subsidiary of QP Group, blah blah. The back, you see the face and back of the cards. It says again MPC makeplayingcards.com and impressions playing cards. And one thing you may or may not be able to tell is that they've actually embossed, you can see right there, the King of Clubs, so that you can actually see what the cards, what the idea of the cards is. The cards are actually embossed on the faces. It's very interesting. There is a nice gold foil seal that says MPC and nothing on the flaps. One thing you will notice is the box is a lot thicker than a standard Bicycle or Legends box because the cards are also thicker. We'll get to that in a minute. So you do get an ad card about producing your own deck with MPC. And you guys get $5 off with that code. And maybe I'll turn on the lights. Make it a little bit. That doesn't help out a whole lot apparently. But we'll see. So, you get 2 jokers. These are the same as the MPC standard jokers. And what you'll see is that there's actually a texture. A glossy, embossed texture on the faces. It's very interesting. Very different. And this video really does it not a whole lot of justice. And it says Joker in the 2 corners. Joker is also embossed. And the other Joker is the same thing except it's in red colors. These cards, they have kind of like a waxy feel to them, is what I would describe it as. And the idea is not only do you see the artwork on the card on the faces of the cards, but you can also feel it. As you can see, as a result, it is definitely thicker than a standard deck of cards. Your aces, Ace of Spades says MPC, makeplayingcards.com at the bottom, nice spade pip. And again, you get that same texture and embossing on there. You get the same thing on the other aces, what's all nicely custom. So it's not just shiny, it's not metallic ink, this is actually a raised effect on the cards. And only Make Playing Cards does it. It's definitely something new and different. First, expert playing cards and Legends started doing foil within the faces and backs of cards. And now MPC is doing this, impressions. Court cards, again you see the same thing. It's just really cool. Let's look at a couple. It's on the indexes as well, the pips, everything. It just is something surreal and different that you've never seen on a playing card before, I guarantee it. And it's something you should definitely check out in person, because my video, any pictures you see, will not do it justice. I recommend getting these. You can probably get them at makeplayingcards.com right now. You can see the number cards. Fairly standard pips, but again, they got that glossy, waxy, raised effect. How does this affect handling, you might ask? It's actually shuffles very nicely, as you can see, cuts nicely, and it actually fans decently, especially this one. Some of the other ones not so much, and it spreads very nicely. It's amazing. You would think a raised texture like this would screw up handling, but these are some of the nicest handling cards I've seen from Make Playing Cards, which tells me their quality is improving, and this is they put a lot of effort into this. So made in China no longer actually sucks. Go figure. And the back design, I didn't really show it to you. The back design does not have any of the embossing because that would make the deck twice as thick. It's just got a simple back design with a couple of trees, clouds. Very simple, nice, clean. There's a couple other editions we'll look at. There is this one. It is the Phantom Edition. It says that much here on the bottom. It's kind of hard to make out the writing, in my opinion, that they use with that font. And then the coloring. Everything else on the box is the same. And you get the ad card again. And all the cards, whoops, are the same, except that they're just white faces on a almost an ivory colored off-white, almost an off-white color. So you can barely see it, but you can see you got that same effect. That's really cool. And the back design, it's kind of hard to see in this light, but it's the same thing, just very, very pale. Court cards, jokers, same thing. Very, very interesting. It's a very milky look to this one. So I'll get on to the next one. The next one is the Stealth Edition. And it's basically the same idea, except it's black. Everything on the box is the same. Again, you can see they did a little embossing on the card so you can see what it's going to look like. I think that's a nice touch. And they got the same effect on the front of the box, which is also a nice touch. Again, it says Stealth Edition, but the H actually looks like an X in that font, which is weird. It doesn't really look like the word stealth. Get the ad card again. And this one, you get black pips on black faces. Really cool. They do actually stand out better than the white deck. And in the back, you can see the details nicely. A little bit thicker on the borders on this black deck, but it's not the end of the world. And again, you see the faces. Really cool. Same faces, just that they're all in black on black. Same with the jokers and everything. This one I noticed is a little bit of minor clumping, but not the end of the world. It still spreads very nicely though. Shuffles nicely and all that cool stuff. And then there's one more, which is the Court Edition. And in front of the box is a little bit different. There's no spade pip. You see an enlarged court card with embossing. That a nice raised embossed glossy effect. It says Touch and Feel and Presence Playing Cards Court Edition. Everything else is the same. Except that on the back of this one, they got the Ace of Spades instead of the King of Clubs like the other ones. And it says Impressions, Linen Playing Cards at the bottom. Which I guess the other one said, but I forgot to mention that. As well as the front and backs of the cards, in case I didn't mention that earlier. Then we get to the cards. The same ad card, same jokers, one red, one blue. Very cool. You get the same aces as the first deck as well. And then we get into why this is called the Court Edition. And this is why. It features enlarged one-way court cards so you can actually see the details even better. And these remind me of the court cards on some of the Fasten series decks that USBC put out several years ago, or a few years ago, whatever it was. It was the same idea, one pip, one way, enlarged, and these just look a lot better. The colors really pop. And of course the details really pop. And like I said, this does it absolutely no justice. And then you get the same number of cards and everything else. My only minor criticism is that I think either this deck or the standard one should have been in red, so that we didn't have two blue backs. But maybe they'll do another version later on. I give these cards a pretty good rating. They handle great. They look great. They're very interesting, unique, different. It's hard to believe that Make playing cards would come out with something that could be industry changing. It's up there with, like I said, the foil on the cards that Expert Playing Cards has done in a couple of decks. It's really cool. It's definitely changing the card world, and I definitely recommend checking these out. That's that. Also make sure to check out collectibleplayingcards.com. Use the code VJose32, get 10% off your order. I definitely like these. I just wish one deck was in red. There is a new deck coming out that is going to be using the same technology for Make playing cards. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's a Wizard of Oz deck, the Emerald Edition, and it actually has this technology but on the backs of the cards, which looks really cool. You can check out the project on Kickstarter right now. Just thought I'd point that out so you know that there's actually other companies, creators that are actually doing this. And those cards are being put out by Lux Playing Cards, who's done a couple other decks recently. Anyway, that's that. All of a sudden it's getting sunny, and I will see you next time.